The river had begun to shrink. What once roared through the savanna with muddy force now crawled between its banks, exposing cracked earth and slick stones beneath the sun. The dry season had been cruel this year, longer, hotter, unforgiving. Animals gathered at dawn and dusk, drawn by the promise of water, but each visit carried risk. Among the tall yellow grasses, a solitary lioness lay pressed to the ground. Her name, if lions could name themselves, would have meant endurance. Her ribs showed faintly beneath her tawny coat, not from illness, but from weeks of failed hunts. The herds had moved farther south, zebras passed less often. Wildebeest came only in scattered groups, wary and fast, and she had cubs hidden miles away, waiting. Every breath she took was measured, every movement calculated. Across the riverbank stood her target, a young giraffe, not fully grown but tall enough to be dangerous. Its long legs shifted nervously as it lowered its head to drink. Giraffes were not common prey for a lone lioness. Their kicks could shatter bone. One mistake meant death. But hunger makes risk acceptable. The lioness watched the giraffe's reflection ripple in the water. She studied the rhythm of its movements, the pause between sips, the moment when balance wavered, when the neck dipped too far and the legs spread wide. She waited. A gust of hot wind swept across the river, carrying dust and the scent of dry leaves. The giraffe snorted, lifting its head slightly, ears twitching. The lioness froze, muscles locked, heart pounding against her chest. Seconds passed. Then the giraffe returned to drinking. That was the moment. The lioness exploded from the grass. She sprinted with everything left in her body, paws striking the ground in a rapid drumbeat. The giraffe reacted instantly, jerking upright, legs scrambling, hooves slipping on wet mud. Panic widened its dark eyes as it tried to turn. The lioness leapt. Her claws scraped against the giraffe's flank, failing to secure a grip. She hit the ground hard, rolling once, dust and water spraying into the air. Pain shot through her shoulder, but she rose again without hesitation. The giraffe bolted. Its long legs carried it toward the open plain, each stride desperate and uncoordinated. The lioness gave chase, but she knew the truth within seconds. She could not win a long pursuit. Then, fate intervened. The giraffe's front leg struck a hidden rock at the river's edge. There was a sharp crack, not bone, but impact enough to send the animal crashing sideways. Its massive body slammed into the shallow water, splashing violently as it struggled to regain footing. The lioness did not slow. She reached the giraffe as it tried to rise, teeth sinking into the thick muscle of its hind leg. The giraffe screamed, a raw, piercing sound that echoed across the plain. Its legs kicked wildly, hooves striking the water with explosive force. One kick caught the lioness in the ribs. Air burst from her lungs. She was thrown back, tumbling into the mud. For a heartbeat, the world went white. She lay still, chest burning, vision blurred. The giraffe staggered to its feet. It limped now, one leg dragging, blood darkening the water beneath it. Every instinct told it to run, to flee this nightmare, but its strength was failing. Each step was slower than the last. The lioness forced herself upright. Pain screamed through her body, but she ignored it. Pain was temporary, hunger was not. She circled the giraffe carefully this time, keeping low, eyes locked onto the trembling legs. The giraffe swung its neck in wide arcs, trying to keep her at distance, but exhaustion dulled its reactions. Minutes stretched into an eternity. The sun climbed higher, baking the riverbank. Flies gathered, the air buzzed with tension. At last, the giraffe faltered. Its injured leg buckled, sending it crashing to its knees. Before it could rise again, the lioness lunged, jaws clamping onto the throat from behind, where the skin was thinner, where control mattered more than strength. The giraffe thrashed, water churned, mud sprayed. The lioness dug her claws into the ground, anchoring herself, tightening her grip as the animal's movements grew weaker, slower, desperate. Then, stillness. The giraffe collapsed fully, neck stretching across the mud, chest heaving once, twice, and then no more. Silence returned to the river. The lioness released her hold and stepped back, sides heaving. Her body trembled, not for fear, but for the release of everything she had held inside. She stood over the fallen giant, blood staining her muzzle, eyes half closed as she caught her breath. She had won. But victory in the wild is never simple. Hyenas laughed in the distance, their calls carrying across the plain like mocking echoes. Vultures circled above, already descending. This kill would not belong to her alone for long. The lioness wasted no time. She fed quickly, tearing into the flesh with urgency, filling her belly enough to give her strength. Every few seconds she lifted her head, scanning the horizon, ears flicking at every sound. When the first hyenas appeared at the edge of the grass, she growled low and deep, standing tall despite her injuries, bloodied, exhausted, unyielding. They hesitated, not because she was stronger, but because she was willing to fight. As the sun began its slow descent, painting the savanna in gold and shadow, the lioness dragged herself away from the river, leaving the remains behind. She moved toward the distant hills, toward her hidden cubs, carrying survival in her belly and scars on her body. The river would dry further, the hunts would grow harder, the danger would never end. But for one brutal day, at the last crossing of a dying river, she had endured. And that was enough.